Hi, friends. I am your favorite host, Sharat Pasumarthi, and today I came up with a very uncanny topic. Yet, this is the buzzword of the current world. People are talking about AI, that is artificial intelligence, everywhere. From laymen to the greatest experts, AI is everywhere. People are literally pouncing on AI, talking about AI in a sense where there are a lot of uncertainties, uncanny activities as well revolving around AIs. But I wanted to delve very, very deep, discard the myths and misconceptions of AI, and understand and imbibe the actual important significance of AI. And we are calling this series AI. Are we in the future? So I'm asking you guys, comment me. Are we in the future of AI, where AI is ruling the roost? So I have with me the privilege of having Sri Krishna Chandra Kasturi, who's an AI evangelist. He calls himself AI evangelist, and we'll find out from him why he calls himself like that. He's a product and delivery leader, business strategist. Sri Krishna holds an MBA from ICFI Business School and has numerous industry certifications in AI, Agile, and project management expertise as well. You can as well connect with him on the link that is scrolling on the screen to talk about the future of AI and so many aspects of AI. Sri Krishna is a visionary leader with over 20 years of experience and stands at the forefront of AI driven business transformation, helping organizations harness the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning to drive innovation and operational excellence. And his journey goes on and on and on and on and on and on. But with this kind of introduction, I would love to introduce our esteemed guest to our discussion about artificial intelligence. Sri Krishna, how are you doing? Welcome to our show.
Yeah, hi. Thanks. I'm doing good.
Amazing, 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 amazing. So I thought I'll be scripted, but there are so many things, so much of information is flooding around uh, the globe on the internet, especially. Uh, Wherever I see there is a bot, everything is integrated with AI, whether it is Facebook or uh, they call it Meta or WhatsApp or Google or so many platforms. There's so much of buzz around AI. And tell me, when did actually AI begin in the first place? A little bit about its history.
I would say AI is technically is not a new term. People have been working on artificial intelligence for a long time. Over a period of time, it has evolved. I would say initially it was into it was into technique. If you talk about computers, right, they take only numbers as input. So you take a number, it can read it as a number, store it as a number, retrieve as a number for us. So that's how traditionally the computers have been around, zeros and ones. That what we know. So the artificial intelligence initially evolved as kind of to mimic mathematical ability of the humans. So it started with that, and then people have started different technologies. They started on different what you call upgrades to the thing. Initially, it was with machine learning, what we call. It was doing mathematical predictions, like in terms of like regression and classification. Those tasks were driven by machine learning. So if you call it like, for example, this was initially called data science. Okay.
Mhm.
And when the data science was there, people are used to like predict. If you give a certain score characteristics about a person, then it can predict whether the person can be given a loan or not. So it initially what we used to do it, we used to feed the number as any characteristics. He has a good score is a 1, bad score is 0. Like that, all the initial data science was driven around numbers. So the advancement now has seen is in terms of natural language. If you see, most of the things in the world is unstructured. It can be voice, it can be a video, it can be picture, it can be text. That is how information passes across the people, human beings, right? It is not the zeros and numbers. We don't talk in, we are doing this podcast. We are not talking in zeros and ones. We are talking text. You and I are seeing in in a video, right? This is what the that's what has changed in the last couple of years. Initially, with machine learning, we are able to give numbers to the system. It is able to make sense out of the numbers through statistical methods, and then we are able to take the output and use in our business solutions. The challenge was initially like we the technology evolved into processing natural language. So if you say, ask me, the advancements in the over the period of years have increased in terms of natural language processing. If you see a couple of years back, every website has a chatbot. The chatbot, every website, even IRCTC, I mean, Indian context, if I talk about IRCTC, any bank you go, any website you go, there is a chatbot, which was basically trying to understand what you say and, interact with you in a very little way. It is not able to understand the whole context. So initially, Google and others they came up with Dialogflow and all that it to process chatbots. So chatbots were very big, and to some extent, I would say they are the precursors of this artificial intelligence we are talking about. So the chatbots were initial phase of this artificial intelligence, and the next step is what we are seeing today. They are called
Mhm.
large language models. They are, if you see in the last 2 years until the OpenAI has released their a Chat GPT 3.5, until then people were talking about artificial intelligence in a sense that how to use this, bring it to the common man. It was not available for a common man to use the artificial intelligence. So what happened is it is first time they are able to process natural language with a large context window. When I say context window, what it means is you can give it so much input that it can understand and come back to you. If you give, for example, if you give 10 pages of document, it can read, understand, and come back to you. So that is what has happened. The context window has increased, and then people are working on in background for all these things. This artificial intelligence we call it. In terms of this large language models, like OpenAI has got ChatGPT, and Google has got Gemini, and Facebook has called Meta. And recently, we have Anthropic. It's releases their own AI Claude, and these are the four major companies that work on this artificial intelligence area, and especially natural language processing. There are different phases, different fields of artificial intelligence, and in this, everybody focuses on natural language processing, and they are called multi-models because they can work on text, they can work on video, they can work on video is not there, they can work on image, they can work on audio. So this like one model is able to do tasks of three, four models. We call them foundation models. These OpenAI, ChatGPT, and Gemini from Google, and Meta from Facebook. These we call them foundational model, which can actually perform the task on image, video, or audio. That's where we call them foundation models. And recently, Chinese government or China has come up with a new model. This has been really last couple of days. There's a lot of buzz around it. It's called DeepSeek R1. So it is performing much better than American models at a fraction of
Oh
a
my
cost.
God. Okay.
This is 2 days back.
Okay,
So
definitely. These Chinese guys are techno geeks. As I mean, they kind of uh, very
yeah.
technically strong, as we know. We
Yes.
will come back to more about AI. I mean, because like open AI, like you are an open book. You are like an ocean of knowledge about artificial intelligence, Krishna. So there's a lot of things I'm going to bug you about.
Yes. Sure.
A lot of aspects of AI. But first, as I already said, you are a visionary leader with over 20 years of experience.
Mhm.
Tell our audience, where are you working, about your expertise in AI and different fields, a little bit about yourself, and then I
Yeah.
want to dig very deep into what AI is doing to the current world, including robotics and control systems and all that.
Yeah. So this I joined as as a State Bank of India initially. People may wonder why a State Bank of India guy is doing what here in IT. So I joined State Bank of India as a probation officer. And since then, I did my MBA and I moved to IT as a business analyst initially. Then, because of my interest in coding, I moved from business analyst to a project manager. And then I enhanced my skills of coding. And then I worked in various organizations, multiple like CGI, Revenera, Sonata, Virtuos. I worked Cognizant. I worked in various organizations across the industry. And currently, I'm working as an independent, AI consultant to help companies in perform better. That's
So,
briefly about me. Yeah.
oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So that means uh, you have done tremendous amounts of research in AI. I mean, now you are at a point where you're able to help companies.
Yes. As independent consultant to help
Great, great.
companies in their use
We'll
cases and yeah.
absolutely. We'll talk about those things as well, because we had off the camera we had some good discussions about what you're
Mm,
offering,
mm,
which a lot of people are not aware of. People
mm.
uh, only know about Chat GPT,
Yes,
OpenAI, Gemini, and things, and as you said, there's only limited scope for that, but there's a big I mean, it's just a tip of the iceberg, and beneath the tip
yes.
of that iceberg of AI, there's so much which people are yet to learn and
Mm.
uh, or appreciate rather. Uh, so, because our topic is, are we living in the future of AI, or is AI already been in the past? However, we want to juggle these words. So, are we
Uh,
in the future, Krishna?
I,
Whimsically
I,
speaking.
I, I would say there are three, what do you call, people are talking, there are three phases, I would say. Initial was the inception of the computers. So
Mhm.
people have invented computers. That's one, I would say, phase, which is a critical phase for in the human history. Second thing is internet. What we say is the possibilities has been unlimited, and what we are calling is third major important wave in human history is artificial intelligence. And people, I mean, even I agree to most of the extent that mm, uh, it is a singularity event. Singularity event is where actually you cannot predict what happens next. Because we call into the singularity is called into black hole because we don't know what is inside black hole. Similarly, this AI also, we cannot predict where it goes. It has been really going everywhere super fast, and people are saying we cannot predict the future. I agree with it. With AI, it's impossible to predict how it is going to be used. If you ask me, is it a Skynet possible like a Terminator movie? Maybe in future, it is very much possible.
Where you know a robot can think, feel, emote, and even control things around.
I would say still robots cannot think on their own because if you see what is intent should be there uh, for any if you ask today's if you talk about ChatGPT, right? You are conversing with it and then it is giving response. If you don't converse, there's no thinking in it. It doesn't know what to do until you ask it to do something. So similarly, if I take example, that we have been humans have been talking to chimpanzees for last 60 years.
Hmm.
You ask a question, is it a fruit? It will identify it's a fruit. If you ask it is like which color, it will identify color. It will identify a shape. But they never asked why I am here, why are you asking these questions? I think similar to that, if I take intelligence as artificial intelligence, you need a human to actually, entice it to do something. Otherwise, I don't think it will be sitting there idle, even however powerful it is.
So you're saying
Even
that AI is like any other machine which accomplishes
yes,
a human task.
yes, yes, exactly. But it cannot have an intent on its own to do something, accomplish.
Like,
For example,
go ahead.
if I am a human, right? I use machine learning and artificial intelligence to do better predicting in share market and make money for myself. Example. But if artificial intelligence has so much technology with it, it can develop a better model than me. Is it going to? create its own model, make money in stock market example, and what it will do with the money. Right? There is no intent for it to make money. I'm just taking a simple example. Or if somebody wants to, do a false propaganda on all the media across in an instant, saying that this is what is false propaganda, and there is no intent for AI to do any of this, even though it is capable of doing, because there is no intent in it. It doesn't have any goals to achieve on its own. That's where it struggles. The goal is to be given by human always at this point.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We'll talk about a lot of things about whether it is going to have emotions and feelings, when whether, because at some point even Elon Musk said that AI can be dangerous. These statements, they've been recurring, and everywhere, and everyone, when prominent people like Elon Musk are stating, are quoting these kind of statements, people have become a little paranoid about, is AI going to uh, uh, take, is AI going to rule the world per se? We'll go into details of
Mm.
those things in our next discussions. But first, I want to come back to the rudiments of AI and Chat GPT. I want to come to the basics now. Uh,
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about the open AI systems. What are we what are the capabilities of Chat GPT per se, or Gemini? Because I extensively use these things to the extent sometimes, I thought, hey, I mean, let me give a break to myself, because I consider myself a good writer. But after I started giving instructions to AI, it's writing on behalf of me. I thought, let me use my own mental muscles. But I mean, this is just a poetic way of saying. But tell us, what are the limitations, or uh, uh, or the infinite possibilities, even with Chat GPT and Gemini open AI systems?
So these are, I would say, these are, as I mentioned earlier, these are called large language models and foundation models. Okay, it's a good thing that you are doing, interacting with ChatGPT. Even I do a lot. I use real time when I'm walking and I'm going for a walk. Also, I just interact like I talk to a friend. It for me it has become my second brain, honestly, if you ask me, because it is so much as a humans, right? Because of in today's world of so many distractions and attention, limited attention people have, it is very difficult to think, and all the possibility of anything that we want to do. So this AI definitely helps in achieving. I'm not. It's like you can think a lot loud with whatever you want to do with the Chat GPT and others and respond back to you. And if you talk about the limitations, most of these models have is they have a context window. That means there's a limited understanding of the context you're pumping into their mind. So instead, if you ask which, if you are in simple computer terms, we have something called RAM, right? There is only limited RAM we can have in a computer, like 16 GB. Okay, you cannot, if you pump more than 16 GB, it will crash. Your laptop will crash unless you increase the RAM. Similar to that, each model has now a limitation of how much context you can put into it. Different models have different limits. How can the memory into it memory? So ChatGPT has 128K. We call it tokens. Each token you can say roughly like four characters. Okay, so each token is approximately one word, you can say. So 128,000 characters or 128,000 words you can pump into its memory to give context. That means to understand what you are saying and respond to you, and it may hallucinate. So if it doesn't get the context so much, it will hallucinate, it will give you wrong answers. Okay, that's the
Yeah,
main
yeah, yeah,
limitation of it.
yeah. Let me interject you here. I just want, when you said, because I love to play with words, and especially when these words come, like has hallucinate and things, I get carried away by philosophical terms, or sometimes even uh, terms which are used in children's classics. But uh, on a lighter note, that was on a lighter note. But coming to the serious portion, when you said hallucinate, Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you give the prompt or the instruction to Chat GPT. I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
know where is that point where
Yeah,
it can
I,
actually,
I,
hallucinate, or and what do you mean by hallucinates? So that people can,
Mhm.
there are a lot of people who are actually taking Chat GPT for granted,
Yes, yes.
and without any without any human scrutiny as well.
Yes, yes,
I mean, it may lead to even laziness, or maybe inaccurate results when, if people are trying
yes,
to
yes,
use these kind of things. But I'm not saying that it's not good. In fact, I feel it is great. I have used it. You have used it.
yes,
But tell me, where can it? I mean, what are the loopholes? When you said that
yes.
word hallucinate, what do you mean?
Hallucinate is it's okay. If we need to go back little bit back into this
Please,
technology, how it works.
please,
Okay,
please.
so this technology is worked. If you see, the natural language processing has evolved from bag of words to transformers. Latest
Mhm.
technology is transformers. That technology determines this that powers this chat GPT and other models, LLM models. So what is transformers is, it is simply predicting the next word uh, in the sequence. So for example, if you are doing it initially, even before we have this artificial intelligence, if you go to Gmail earlier, suppose before in 2022 when the chat GPT came, if you go and type something, it used to autofill to some extent, not completely, but to some extent it is autofill. Like, hi, can I keep this? Are you? I'm attaching the document. Attached. It used to autofill to some extent. So how it was able to do it? It was predicting the next step in the sentence. Even today, it is now almost prevalent everywhere. Any application you take, it predicts the next step to you. That's the transformers technology that powers all these models. So what it does is, these models are trained on a lot of data, literally trillions of data they are trained. So they know, given little bit of context, they know what is the next word that comes in the sentence or next sentence. So they just predict the next sentence based on your input. It is not, if you ask me honestly, it's not a great intelligence, but they're able to, based on the trained data, a lot of data, they're able to predict the next word, next sentence. And they are trained to some extent. If you take any large language model, they release different versions. If you see, ChatGPT started with 3, 3.5, 3.5 Turbo, 4, 4.0 Mini, 4.0, O1, O3, O5. Now they are going for GPT-5. See, when you talk about these models, what they mean is, these are trained on more and more data. That's the only thing they are doing. So these models are trained on a data, so they can predict the next character or word or a sentence better. So that is the fundamental technology used. So if it gets the context wrong, okay, the sentence formation itself will be wrong. For example, this is, we can see very much in what do you call because we use artificial intelligence for coding as well. Okay, in artificial intelligence, when we code, right, we ask it to fix a problem, it fixes something else. Why? Because it thinks that if this is there, this is what I need to do, actually, which is not the case in which what I'm working on. For example, I tried to, integrate with Razor Pay. Okay. And it assumes that it's a company account and it will try to integrate full everything. It instead of understanding the context that it's a personal account, you need to make more changes. So this is called hallucinations. It is trained on a different model, trained on a data, and it tries to, whatever we ask, fit into that, training, and then give us the result. So in terms of, if you see a email, if you in terms of, if it writes an email, you may not find much difference. Okay, but when it hallucinates and gives us inaccurate data about a stock market, then it's very dangerous. So
Okay.
hallucination is nothing but a different, thinking on its own and giving us inaccurate results.
Okay. So what stage uh, is AI at? Is it the stage of an infant? Is it as a stage uh, of a 4-year-old child or a teenager? I'm definitely not. I'm very sure it's not an
Uh,
an adult yet. but what stage
I-
of evolution is it at this
If
point?
you ask me, AI is where actual limitation of AI is in mathematics and reasoning. That's where the holy grail, everybody is trying to crack it, including OpenAI. Every company who is working is LLMs, large language models, is trying to crack that, crack the reasoning ability and the mathematical learning. They are trying to crack it. Rest of the things are already more or less taken care by the models. So recently, researchers have found that though companies are claiming it is at plus if you say 12th standard level and graduation level, what researchers have noticed is these models are actually fine tuned to the I would say to the test set. Okay, for example, if I need to find you, are you a PhD student or not, I give you some 10 PhD level mathematical problems. If you solve them, I believe you are a PhD level candidate. If I give you some 10th standard problems, you're able to solve, I call you 10th standard student. Okay. Recently, OpenAI came up with Owen saying that I am the best model, mathematical capability, and all that. Okay. And researchers have done very simple tweak. Okay. What they did is ChatGPT said mathematical reasoning, we are achieved in 90% or something. Okay. And then researchers have little bit tweaked in the problem set. Okay. They said instead of variable name X, they made it A. Okay. Instead of value 5, they made it 4. And the ability of the model fell down from 90 to 40.
Oh,
That means these companies are trying to match the test set. So they train the model on the test set, you match the test result, so you can say you are 90% there. If you're changing any variable in the test set, it is failing horribly. So I don't think still it is there yet as projected by LLMs in terms of mathematical capabilities and reasoning. So how people are trying to, there are different ways people are trying to solve it actually. They're saying chain of thought. That means they're asking LLMs, before you come to a conclusion, you tell us what is your thinking, line of thinking. Okay. There are different models currently training on different models and different parameters. Previously, they used to, how they train a model is, previously they used to train the model, they give a reward. If it comes with the correct answer, right? It's like a dog. If it comes with correct answer, you give a cookie to it. So that, or some treat to it,
or
it
a
will be
bone or
happy, go
something.
back.
Yes, a treat.
Yeah,
Yes.
treat. So it goes back and comes with. If you wrong this thing, you punish it by not giving anything. So that's how you train a model. Okay. So these people have given that what do you call use output driven training they were giving. So if I give you input, okay, if you give me output, they were saying your output is wrong. Okay. Then model was going back, like, do something, come back, saying that is it correct? Then we say wrong. Then model will go back, do something, come back. We'll say correct. It will give. So people have realized it so that they don't know what is going inside the mind of the model. So what they did with the model is now they are rewarding process thinking. So what steps you are taking. So based on steps, they are rewarding the model. That's now currently they are trying to model based on that. So if steps are correct, your end result will be correct. So that now the reward is at the process level. This is how people are trying to actually make it better for reasoning and mathematics. But I think it's still a long way to go, at least for me, 5 years away in terms of mathematical reasoning. Other things like, how email is written, understanding the context of a text, okay, the sentiment of a text and all that, they are very good at it as of today.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. 5 years, I know it'll go in the blink of an eye. So definitely we can have, I don't know what kind of discussions we will have about AI, or is AI going to talk to us that time? We have no idea. As you said, you're speaking to your AI.
Hmm.
You're
Real-time
having a
API.
one-on-one vocal conversation with it. You ask your heart out. I mean, about your day-to-day things or whatever work you have to accomplish, about your plans, or to make lists or Excel sheets, or and so on and so forth. But I just, I mean, a question came to my mind, before I conclude this episode, because audience would love to. I want to tantalize the audience to know more about AI. So I have to conclude in a minute or so. But before that, just wanted to whet the appetite of our audience. there are a lot of but for your information, friends, there are a lot of amazing topics I'm going to discuss with Sri Krishna. So stay tuned and write down your comments. Call us, text us as well to find out more about these discussions. Become part of our discussions. Interact with us. Send your questions as well. But my question is, Sri Krishna, uh, what is the difference? What is the major difference between natural human intelligence or natural intelligence of humans or other creatures versus artificial intelligence?
I would say artificial intelligence is, in a way, people are trying to make machines think like humans. Okay, that's so actually that is the so that the agenda is that people can take rest and machines can do our job, so that we have more time to accomplish more in whatever
To
it is.
to
So that
maybe
is
to
actually
enjoy
the goal.
life, go on a world tour,
Yeah, yeah,
things.
yes, yes. Yeah, if you talk about now, if I there are something called agents. If you talk, if now the buzzword in 2025 is agents, and agents means an artificial intelligence. What do you call intelligence? I would say person. You can take a persona like an employee, which can accomplish a given task without human intervention. So this is the definition across the industry. They are more or less standardized this. Even OpenAI and Sundar Pichai, everyone agrees on more or less the same thing on the definition of agent. So what is an agent is it can accomplish a task without human intervention. Okay, this is not it's not a what do you call uh, it's not a futuristic thing. It's actually today's reality. I have seen companies. Recently, there was a case study where a company has employed an AI. Okay, employed. They're treating as employee. Okay, employed AI, and it is able to resolve customer service responses with 97% what do you call confidence level. At 60% of the cases, it is able to solve without any human intervention taking action. So how there are different ways to handle this. They say if you are 90% confidence, only then go ahead and execute that whatever task you are able to. If you're not confident, then give it to a human. So 70% of the cases, it is able to solve as a how a human solves a customer service request problem.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So
Thank you.
this
So
is
yes, go ahead.
hmm. So these agents are already there in place. Many companies are more or less employing them as in their workforce. And if you see, Salesforce has literally stopped hiring a software engineer in 2025. Zero hires for software engineers in Salesforce.
Okay, okay. So we'll put a pause to this discussion here right now, friends. We'll find more about, because I know you guys are eager to know about what agents are. A new term to me and all of you. But Sri Krishna is coming up with some innovative things. A lot of us haven't heard. Definitely not laymen. Laymen are only uh, acquainted with Chat GPT and Gemini and things, and using the different things, Canva or whatever different apps employing AI. But there are deeper things which normal people need to know, because, as we said, are we in the future of AI, or is AI in our future, or are we in the cusp of where natural intelligence and artificial intelligence is conjoined? So to find out more about those things, how can it be a threat to humans? Is it going to snatch your jobs, or is it your friend or foe? We're going to find out in our next episode. So until then, stay tuned with bated breath, and enjoy this episode. If you have any comments, any questions, as such, as I said, the email is scrolling on the screen. You can write to us. You can go back to our YouTube and comment there. Each video will be uploaded periodically, and then we'll take it from there. So thank you so much, Sri Krishna, for your lovely time, and let's meet
Thank you.
again.
Sure. Thanks.